Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to get your horse to line up to you. I like to call it the pick-me-up, but in order to do this trick your horse is going to need to learn how to side pass first. So this is like 2 tricks in one video. Just remember that this is something that takes time and you can't expect results right away, but some horses do learn faster than others, so it just takes time and patience. One other thing I wanted to mention was I'm going to be voicing over most of this video, if not all of it, because the wind still was a little bit louder than I wanted it to be. It wasn't like crazy windy where things were falling over, but it was still enough that you couldn't hear me. So the very first step is you want your horse to be able to release and give to the pressure of moving their hind quarters over. And whatever you do on one side, you do it on the other side, except for when I get him to do the pick-me-up, I just did choose one side for him to learn to actually walk over to me on because I didn't want to confuse him. Here I'm talking about how I like to reward Banjo with treats, and I just think it motivates him more. The side pass is the foundation of the pick-me-up. So in order to do the pick-me-up, we're going to need to do the side pass. So to do this, as I mentioned before, you want to be able to move the hindquarters and the front shoulder. So once you've got it so your horse moves over to when you're giving pressure on the hindquarters, then you're going to want to start moving their front shoulder. To do this, you're going to want to put pressure over on the direction you want them to go with their face, so they understand that all they need to do is take one step diagonally and cross their front feet, and after one step you literally just give them a treat and you're only looking for one step. That's all. So of course I'm going to do it on the other side. I don't really need my whip for that because I'm just putting pressure on his shoulder, and every time he crosses his front feet away from me, I give him a treat. Now to put the hindquarters and shoulder together, I'm just pushing his shoulder over and his hindquarters over. And basically that's going to make that lateral movement. And you can see here how as I'm putting pressure on each of those parts, he is moving over for me. So for this next part, you're going to have to ignore Banjo, how he's definitely acting 100% like a gelding right now. I'll try to crop it out as best I can, but you're going to be tapping their hip, and every time they move that's what's going to signal them and what you're going to tap for when they laterally move over to you. And on this side, this is the side I've chosen for him to laterally move over to me, which explains why he knows it so well. So once your horse responds to moving well off the hip, you're eventually going to want to get behind them almost and get them to laterally step towards you instead of away from you. And so you're just gonna each time move over closer to the other side of them. At first Banjo didn't understand that he had to move towards me going laterally, so I took the rope and I hold it almost so his head would be moving, so he has no choice but to move that way, and that helped him understand it. I apologize for the way I'm trying to explain this. I'm still not great at explaining how to do things. I just kind of do them. After you practice getting your horse to move over to you on the ground really well, you can move up and eventually get higher up and start small with little steps towards you on a little bit of a higher object. So yeah, just work on it and don't give up on them, because really they will get it. And it took me forever to get him to even side pass at first. So I actually never saw myself doing this in 2026. I never thought I would do it at all. And so the first time we tried the side pass, we tried it on the fence when we were on him. And I know some people say use the fence, but that didn't work for me. And so literally I just left it for a year and I came back to it. And I just found my own ways, because for some reason I always end up doing it my own way and just gather all the information I see from other people, and maybe that gives me the idea. So once you can get him to move over to you, or once you can get your horse to move over to you really easily on the ground, you're going to want to get up more. So I'll pull this up and I'll go right here, and And here he's still not even perfect. I had to correct him a little bit to bring his shoulder towards me and less of his butt. And maybe when you try a few times, take them for a walk, see if they still understand what they're supposed to be doing, and try it again in a different spot. Here I tapped more of his shoulder, and you can see he didn't really know what he was doing, but I decided to just try again, and he corrected himself. But yeah, basically just practice on the ground a bunch of times after this. Good boy. And still make sure you can move their hindquarter over, because sometimes they get caught up in the idea like, oh, you're automatically going to ask me to move over. But really, that's not what I'm asking. See, he still thinks that, oh, the whip on that side means I need to move over. But I'm just teaching him that no, it doesn't. And it's only when I tap that spot that he needs to move over. So I'm just rubbing him with it, telling him he doesn't need to move over at that moment. And so once you get really confident on the ground, you can move over to the bench, which I'm going to change my view. So when you're moving to a bigger object, you can line them up closer and then give them their cue, and they should hopefully line up to you. Not every horse is going to get this right away. Just know it's going to take time and more practice if they don't get it the first time. Banjo sometimes lines up to me a little more diagonally, but I still reward it because he's still trying. And eventually, once you get really comfortable, you can hop on them. Yeah, he took a few steps away. Not sure why, but that's okay. He still did what I wanted him to do. He stood still when I got on him, so that was really good. And you can just walk them around, get them to the angle you want, and try it again. So I tried a really funky angle this time to see what he would do and how well he's been working at this, and he actually lined up really well for me, so I was super proud of him there. So really, it does not need to be complicated at all. Find your own way, and of course it's going to take a lot of time. Like, it's taken me like a year to get to this point. So really don't get frustrated with them, and if you need to revisit something, just take a big long break and come back to it when you're ready. Because at first I was like, he wasn't getting the side pass, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really think this is a good way of doing it. So I wanted to do it my own way, and eventually I just figured it out, broke it down one step at a time. And yeah, so let's review what we have and put it all together. So first we have the basic side pass, and for that, remember you're going to want to be able to make them move their back end. Good. And if they can do that, you're going to want them to move their front end one step at a time and reward them for every step they take. Good boy. Good. Whew. And for the other side. Good boy. And you're gonna just wanna make them take one step, and that's all they need. All they need is a single step. Good boy. They only need one single step, and that can change it all for them, because they'll start putting that together. If you reward them for each step, then you ask more steps at a time. And eventually, when you're doing it, you want pressure on the back, pressure on the front, and you'll just move it over at the same time. Yeah, you're being a little crazy. You're being a little crazy. You doing so good? I know it is hard to teach a crowd something you know so well, isn't it? Okay, so we're just gonna ignore Banjo and how, he's a gelding and all. So I'm really sorry about that. But yeah. So that's for the side pass, and then eventually you're going to want them to know this thing right here, so you're going to want to tap their hip. And you want them to move away from that tap and reward them. And each time you want to move this way a little more, so you want to go. Good. And you want to get a little more this way. Good. that's where they need to move. Good boy. And I'm really sorry if I'm bad at explaining this. Still trying to become better at explaining things. But yeah, so eventually when you got all that, you can put it together and you want to become more elevated. So first you want to be able to know how to do it on the ground, and then do it on something a little taller, and eventually like maybe your mounting block or something. Just the height you want to work to. If it's like something a lot taller, like maybe up here, you want to build up. And if it's like maybe just your mounting block and that's really small, start on the ground, build to the height you want. So since I wanted the bench, I started on the ground. I used that little block thing. It was a little higher, and eventually I got even higher. And he did really good. Took a lot of practice and patience, and just know that they're not gonna get it right away. Just keep working in small amounts and they'll get there. So I'll show you guys a little demo of what Banjo can do.